Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day, and a couple people in my comment section have been asking me how my Strand build is, what they should be using, blase, blase, blah, blah. I'm here to tell you that, right? The subclass is obviously Thread Runner. You're going to be using Strand. Gambler's Dodge. Some people use Marksman's Dodge because they want their class ability back faster. However, I like Gambler's Dodge because you can get behind cover easier and you get your melee back, and I think your melee is really effective in winning 1v3 scenarios. Strafe jump. This is the best jump. It is non-disputable. When I first came to the game, I used triple jump a lot because I thought it would be cool. Strafe jump. You have no secondary choice for a melee, but you want grapple grenade. You do not want threadlings. You do not want shackles. Threadlings got uber nerfed to the point where even one bullet breaks them all. And shackles are a little too finicky to be effective, really. Grapple grenade is the best part of your kit. You do not want to be messing with this. And with grapple grenade, you're going to be using Widow's Silk. Like I said, grapple grenade is your best, like your most effective part of your kit. You're going to want two of them. And this is the exact aspect that leaves that little ball in the sky that you can grapple to and then get your grapple back. You know that thing that prismatic hunters can't get? That's this. Ensnaring Slam. Honestly, if I did not know that swarm nades were getting nerfed soon, I would tell you to go Threaded Spectre just to deal with swarm nades alone. However, Ensnaring Slam is a lot more effective once you really get to know the ins and outs of it. You can suspend people behind boxes, you can suspend people on point, you can suspend pretty much anything and everything once you actually understand the radius and how things work. The fragments, your top fragment, your most important fragment is Thread of Ascent. This is non-disputable. You get airborne effectiveness, handling, and it reloads your weapons just for using your grapple grenade, which by the way, you're going to be using anyway. This is your pinnacle of fragments. Secondarily, I use Thread of Binding. This is for your super. Really your super is kind of bad, but I mostly use it for the resilience. However, the suspending burst is also very effective. If there are multiple people next to each other and you hit one of them, it'll suspend everyone else, and then everyone else has a harder time hitting you since your super has so low damage reduction anyway. Thread of Continuity. This just makes everything just feel a little better. Suspends last longer, which by the way, how long people are suspended is directly affected by their resilience. Unravels last longer, which I'll get into, and then severs last longer, which is really important. I'll get into that later. Speaking of severs, this is when I'm getting into it. Thread of Isolation. Landing rapid precision hits emits a severing burst from the target. We're going to be using a hand cannon in this build. Normally, if you get a 3-tap on a person, you have a high chance of getting a tangle on their body. Then you have the ability to use that tangle to then snowball into other kills, and then even get a team wipe if you do a specific thing that I'm going to explain in a second. Now that we talked about the subclass, we'll talk about everything else. We're going to be starting off with hand cannons. Now, as a hunter, you want a high handling hand cannon regardless, no matter what character you are. But on hunters, it just feels like it matters a little bit more. So Thorn works perfectly here. Secondarily, you can use Better Devils and the artifact perk Threaded Blast, which is destroying a tangle with a strand weapon creates a larger and more damaging explosion. This one-shots guardians if they're standing next to the tangle. So if you were to be using this combo, then your bread and butter would be 3-tapping a certain guardian, their body spawning a tangle with the Thread of Isolation, and then you shooting this tangle with your strand weapon, i.e. your Better Devils, and it killing somebody maybe behind a wall or anywhere near that person trying to get maybe a res. A lot of people will try to res without killing the tangle. Tangles are really strong, like low-key, because people don't really deal with them at this point. Also, you want a shotgun. As a Strand hunter, you are going to be close to people at all times. You're going to be suspending them. You're going to be grappling into people. You want a shotgun. That is your peak. Now you can use sniper rifles, but you're technically taking away from a lot of what you're supposed to be able to do. I use stompies. I love my speed, and it helps with grapple rollouts a little better. I personally love stompies. But if you're not a big stompies person, you don't really give a fuck about the slide distance and speed, fuck all that. I want a real exotic, you're saying in your head. You can use Crateracne's Facade, which gives you Woven Mail, i.e. 90% damage resistance to anything but the head, with using your grapple grenade. or Knucklehead Radar. Knucklehead Radar is in a really good spot right now. It's just free, like free walls, free just airborne effectiveness, free like everything. Like I'm low-key giving you the sauce right now. Knucklehead is a great exotic. And finally, for your stat spread, you want max grenade at all times, right? You want your grapple back as fast as possible. It's on a natural cooldown of 41 seconds with tier 10 intellect or tier 10 discipline. And if you haven't noticed, when you play trials, the downtime where you're dead and where you're spawning into the round, that doesn't count for the timer. So you have to have 41 seconds where you're just alive. You want this to be as high as possible, trust me. Next up, you want mobility to be as high as possible. One, you just gotta love your speed. As a 100 player, you just gotta love your speed, man. And then secondarily, you want your class ability back faster even after using ensnaring slam. A little thing that people don't know is at the end, or if you use ensnaring slam and that takes away your class ability, it's on a longer cooldown time than if you were to simply dodge. Don't ask me how long of a cooldown. I have not researched that, but it is on a longer cooldown and you want this as high as possible. Next up, you want recovery, because recovery is just a great stat for Crucible in general. And then finally, maybe you want some resilience. The threshold you should be looking for when it comes to resilience is 30 resilience and 70 resilience. Those are the two like threshold caps to surviving certain things and being able to live with certain things. I currently have 40 because I was using a different a different fragment than this, but this is the fragment you should be using. I was testing out Thread of Mind. So this is what my abilities normally look like while I was using Thread of Mind, but then I decided not to use it, so it's currently on this. I really have to make a new build, but I'm too lazy. You may be wondering about mods. I love In-Flight Compensator. It is free airborne effectiveness. As a Strand Hunter, you are jumping a lot of the time. You are in the air a lot of the time. You want to be able to maximize how effective you are in the air since you're already going to be there. You do not want to have a class where you're put in the air and then you cannot shoot back. That is a bad idea. I put simple gun mods on my arms and chest, but on my boots, I have recuperation and better already. These are effective because of your Reaper mod that you're going to be putting on your class item. The basic bread and butter for this combo is you're going to be suspending people, and then because of that, you're going to be proccing Reaper. You kill the person that you suspended, it's going to drop an orb of power. That person probably shot you, give or take. That person's probably doing damage to you while they're in the middle of suspension, while you were in the animation of suspending them, blah, 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 blah. And then you run over the orb and you get your health back just immediately. You get like a portion of your health back with recuperation, and then your health starts regenerating immediately. Fuck, I cannot talk. And then your health starts to regenerate immediately with better already. After that, I just have outreach and bomber. Like these just boost your other cooldowns whenever you're using your class ability. Like this matters less because if I just simply dodge next to people, not suspend them, but dodge regularly next to people, then I have my melee back already, but I just put that there anyway. And finally, just a forewarning, I have been using Strand Hunter for the better part of a year now. You are not going to be able to pick up this class and then just simply be good with it. That's just not going to happen. There's a lot of tidbits of knowledge and little intricate details that you have to learn to use it effectively, especially on certain maps. Please just give it time, have patience with it, and you will be good. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.